told you last night that we had more pitches, proposals for night talks for this event than I think in any of the events we've ever done. And that is challenging because we're sorting through all of these really great proposals. But then I get this email. It's from Jenny Lee, and she says, I just had an idea for one that is non-journalism related and fun. Okay, we need a palate cleanser, particularly at the 8th spot in our program. So for Jenny 8, we've got the 8th spot, and it better be funny.
Okay, so I come from a Chinese American family, which means that we are not emotionally intimate, but we are financially intimate. So, for example, we're all on the same cell phone plan that we used to not call each other. So, my brother actually sends me every couple like months, 20 months, he sends me about like $900 worth of cell phone bill, $50 a month. And so, a couple months ago, he asked, "Do mom and dad send you money?" And I was like, "They kind of gave me life, so I'm good covering the $50 a month for the cell phone bill in order to make good on it." And then my sister and I actually have co-mingled real estate. For example, I own an apartment on the block that I grew up on, which is very, very Asian, and never lived in it, paid off the mortgage when I was 30. My sister lives in it. And so it's kind of interesting from the languages of love. There's gifts, acts of kindness, service, quality time, and I think touch. From a Chinese perspective, you're like, where's money? Because basically, there's one language of love, and it is money. When you go to a wedding in China, there is no wedding registry. You actually show up with a red envelope full of cash, and at the door, they take it, they count it, they mark it in a book, and then and then you go. If you can't go to the wedding, you actually can just wire money because they put the bank account number in the invitation. So it's like all settled. So like Chinese people don't like surprise presents. I know like sometimes white people love presents, like surprising you, like it's the thought that counts. I actually don't want, if it's a thought that counts, just give me the thought, don't give me a present because then I'll have to carry it around. So my life is a series of one-way flights. Like I don't have a stable mailing address. I actually had like an Amazon package sent to the Westin because that was the most predictable place I was going to be for the next 3 weeks. So, but then I had a friend the other day who was like, "Oh, I'm going to buy you, I bought you a present." This is a white guy, right? So it's this. What is this? It's like heavy. It has like a Latin long on it. It's square. I'm like, is it a paperweight? And then I flip it over and it has a little like round dot on the back. And I'm like, oh, it's a fridge magnet. And I was like, what about my life makes you think that I see any fridge like on a regular basis enough to put a magnet on it? I mean, I do own 2 refrigerators, both of which I've not seen in like years, including the one in the apartment that my sister lives in. So this is one of the reasons I think I have like trouble relating to white guys. Like, if anything, like I prefer if they're off-white, because like Jewish, Argentinian, Eastern European, because like, I think I need some amount of generational trauma and we're sort of like bond with them. So back to presidents, okay. Like Chinese people, like we're Chinese Americans, so we kind of hybrid kind of custom. So a couple of years ago, I wanted like a set of knives, $300, couldn't afford it, or didn't feel comfortable affording it. So I wrote to my sister and said, "Is there something that you would want that's like $300 for Christmas?" She's like, "Yes, Microsoft Zune." This is how long ago it was. This was before the iPod. And so I bought her the Microsoft Zune. She bought me the kind of knives. It was an even trade, totally neutral. And so over time we've evolved. So I just gave her my credit card to buy her own present. And then now we've gotten to the point where I just send over the reimbursement for whatever present she buys for herself. And so my dad, when he wants me to, he'll just send us the Amazon link in the family chat to buy something for my mom. And realize they're on Amazon Prime, I'm on Amazon Prime. I know this because they're on my Amazon Prime account. So, but he wants me to buy the $15 pair of slippers for mom so that the daughter actually, I do the one click instead of him doing the one click, so the daughter's bought the present for mom. So some key thing about Chinese, the word for borrow and lend is actually the same, so jip. The only way you can tell is the context of which way it goes. I lend borrow to you, I lend borrow from you. So it shows that it's a reciprocal relationship. And this is key in Chinese restaurants, actually, because over the years, most of the people who've come from Fujian to the United States were smuggled in boats, and many of them actually spent, anywhere between 30 to 40,000, sometimes 50,000 to be smuggled. You don't go to a bank for that. You actually go to your relatives, and you basically take out a mortgage on your own life, and then you pay it out over time, which makes the point that, Chinese familial bonds are like very strong. In this case, they're literally bonds with a 5% interest rate. Actually, no interest rate, that's how you show you care about each other. So just one last note. So some of you guys know, last year, I actually fractured 12 to 24 of my vertebrae in a snowboard accident. It was like helicopter from like Boise to wherever. From Sun Valley to Boise. So Sewell Chan actually showed up at the hospital to help take care of me. So I have titanium in my bones. Like Wolverine. So you can witness my transformation to a bionic dumpling. But the key thing, I told my brother and sister, I never told my parents because we didn't want to worry them. So that's it. Thank you.